Hello, this is Mark here at Gary's Guitars, and I want to talk about action, guitar action, string height, and most specifically, what I would call not low action, or what some people call high action. There has to be a medium action, and I guess what I'm talking about is the medium action. So, what is action? It's the height of your strings to the guitar neck. How they sit against the fingerboard when they're not in use, I guess, and when you use them, how likely are they to hit other frets and buzz? So, I got this guitar. It came with, what I would say, high-ish, slightly high, let's say medium action on it. And I wanted to experience the setup of the guy who set it up. The guy who did it obviously was good at what he did. So I wanted to see, like, well, let me play it for a little while and see what. And I was like, oh yeah, because I've had high action guitars over the years, and I was like, that's a thing. To be able to hit a string loudly and not make it buzz, or have difficulty, I could make anything buzz, I suppose, but in that clear, warm note. So, 95% of the people come in the store and say, set up my action as low as possible. I want the action as low as possible without buzzing. If I had $1 for every time someone said, set up my action without buzz, well, actually I do have $1 for every time someone said that. So it's still not a lot of money, but it said a lot. So let's have a look at what I would call normal or medium action looks like, and why it can be a cool thing. So this is a Harmony that was rebuilt. So it's had its neck reset, and it had a new bridge and saddle put on, and the bridge has a nice height, higher than the original Harmony one, and the saddle is a nice height. And the action, let's see if the action is 12th fret. It's what some people might call high. But what does this do? Well, if you're an aggressive player, you can hit the string hard and get no buzzing. But the most important thing that a higher action, so to stop dead spots, to get a nice clear note, because anyone can make a guitar buzz. And if you're playing, even if you have you're playing dynamic. If you can play more dynamically on a guitar that is less prone to buzzing. So, what else should I say? So, eliminates buzzing on other frets. If your guitar happens to have a not perfect fret fingerboard, sometimes that helps too. But here's the most important thing, which is the height of the bridge. This height creates more downward pressure on the top, which makes a transference. So ideally, if you're talking about a master built guitar, you'll have a bridge this high and still be able to. Now this guitar, because it's been rebuilt, can get low action. I could lower the action. Okay. And quite a bit, and it would still play all right. But maybe I won't. That downward pressure on the top helps it activate the top, makes it kind of, what's the word for it? It can make a louder note, basically. Guitars with acoustics, especially with higher action, are able to ring a little louder. Electrics, you just turn up the amp, I suppose, so it's no big deal. So what causes high action? High action can be caused by a bent neck, which that is not cool, because that also throws a lot of things out of whack, and so I'm not recommending you have a bent neck. But there is a concept in other stringed instruments called scoop, in fretless stringed instruments, where you actually want a little bend to the neck on like a bass or cello, so that the string doesn't bind up when you press on it. So for example, if you played a violin and you're a guitarist and never played a violin before, you'd think the strings were high, because they don't want the string to land on the fingerboard anywhere but the spot you're touching. And they want nice clear notes. So you get that note clarity out of having slightly high action. So for some, this has been blasphemous, and that's cool. Just wanted to share this experience with you. I'll have a little anecdote. Actually, maybe we'll end with an anecdote. Here's my little action anecdote. Oops, I'll put this back over here. So here's the anecdote, which is Scott Miller is a guy who does work for the shop. He is Mr. Perfect Low Action. He trained in L.A. He's obsessed with having seriously as maximum playability, just guitars that play themselves. And that's why a lot of people like him, because that's what the sound that a lot of people want. And that's why we keep him around. He's really a master of what he does. So, but this guy had a guitar, and Scott had to evaluate it, and he's like, you know what, you're really gonna need a fret job. Your frets are chewed up. You got frets popping up. There's nothing much I can do with it. If you want this thing to stop buzzing, you're gonna need a fret job. And so the guy had a fret job done, and he got the guitar back, and I was in the store when the guitar came back. The guy that came in, he's a burly guy. I'm one to talk, but this guy was, pretty, catcher's mitts for hands. And he's like, oh, let me try it out. And he put on this Stratocaster, and he began to play it. And he, was just banging the strings into the fingerboard, just wailing on this guitar. Not, and he's like, it's still buzzing. And I was like, oh, okay. So, give me a minute. Took the guitar back, raised the action, handed it back to him, played it. Okay, that's okay, thanks. Happy as can be, put the guitar away, went home. He's the kind of guy who can't play with low action because of his playing style. So, don't tell Scott I changed one of his setups. Shh. And, alright, so that is my case for normal or mid action instead of low action. I hope it was interesting. I hope that maybe you consider having a guitar. I got into playing guitars like this because I also have a lot of harmony guitars, a lot of K guitars, a lot of guitars that aren't precise enough to be set up low. And I learned to do it. A friend of ours, the friend of the store, Doug Bennett, once said to me, he said, your action should be as high as you can possibly take it. And that's where you get your optimal sound and playing. The fact that the guitar kind of fights you a little bit can be a little bit of can be a little inspirational to your playing, where you really got to push and get those notes in, and so it exists. So thanks for watching. Go to the YouTube channel and the Instagram and all that. Like, share, blah, 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 everything I'm supposed to tell you. You've heard it all before. And thanks for watching.